Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my very exciting October TBR. We're going to play the next round of Just beaT TBR as well as Bookoplathon. Now, if you don't know anything about those two games, that's fine. Let me just quickly explain. Just beaT TBR is my own take on Cluedo, but make it bookish. So that is my own TBR game that I played for the first time last month in order to figure out what I'm gonna read that month. That month didn't really go as planned because I was still very much in my reading slump, but since then I'm kind of pushing through. I'm getting back into reading, and there are so many exciting new releases in October, and of course so many spooky books that I want to get to because that's kind of the only spooky month I have left. So I'm hoping, really hoping that this is the month that the reading is back on track. And if you don't know what Spookoplathon is a readathon hosted by Becca. I'm gonna link her announcement video down below. It's a readathon that's going over the whole month of October. And Spookoplathon is the spooky version, so the Halloween version of Bookoplathon, which is based on Becca's own TBR game, Bookopoly. And the way that you can go about it is you can either roll as you go. So if you're a mood reader, you can just roll once, read the book that you get for Spookoplathon, and then move on. Or you can do a TBR in the beginning of the month and just stick to that. I'm gonna hopefully do both as I did in the past, and it worked very well. And now with my reading slump, I'll have to see. I'm gonna roll 5 times for this Bookoplathon and hopefully don't get any doubles because then I would have to add a roll. And hopefully with these 5 reads I can then play my own TBR game and kind of make them fit for my prompts so that I can basically double up with these books in hopes that I don't have a massive TBR, because I don't know how my game is gonna be to me, because it can be very nice like it was last month, or it can be very horrible to me, but we'll see. So let's just go ahead and roll for the first time for Spookoplathon. Welcome to my first roll for the Spookoplathon, and this is my little game piece. It's from Cluedo. I was always red, that was always my go-to color. We're gonna start at go. Sorry if you can hear my cat. So we have our chance cards and we have our community shelf cards. So let's go for the first roll. 6. Oh, I need to roll twice. Okay, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god, we're starting off with a chance card. Ooh, okay. Okay, so the way that I went about it is that I put some books that I've been meaning to get to forever on here, but there are also some like newer releases, so let's see which one it is. Okay, ooh, One Dark Window. I've been meaning to get to this one. Oh my god, while I was doing my chance cards, I was kind of like, hopefully I don't land on these like anytime soon ish because I put some books on there that I want to read because of the spooky season, some because I've kind of been putting them off even though I've heard great things about them. So of course I landed on chance first time around, and I got the book One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I actually don't know anything about this book. I've had this for a while and I've heard people loving it. I even have the sequel as an ARC that has now been published already, and I still haven't read the first book. And I don't know why, it doesn't matter how often I hear people talk about this book, I can't seem to remember what it's about. So let's find out together. Oh, there you go. October 2022 is when I got this from Fairy Loot. So I guess it's time to read this. So this seems to be about a girl who lives in a country that is plagued by like a mist, so there's like a very like dark magic going on, and she has a voice inside her head. It seems to be a demon. It seems to be taking over slightly the more that she tries to deny it, and now there seems to be the possibility of ending the curse that has befallen this land, and of course she wants to go ahead and do that. So she goes on a quest with a mysterious highwayman in order to lift the curse. So nothing can go wrong there, I guess. But sounds great, sounds spooky, sounds perfect for this time of year, and I'm actually not mad at the board for giving me this first prompt. Okay, now that we have the first roll down, let's go see where else this is gonna take me. 4, and you can't see, it's a 3. So another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's ghost face. Okay, then we landed on ghost face, and that prompt means to read a book that has some kind of sound word in the title, meaning like scream, yell, sing, song, whatever makes a sound. And I was worried at first, but I actually found a couple that would work. But I actually decided to go with Until We Shatter from Kate Dillon. This is an arc that I have. It's gonna be released in the middle of the month, and I really want to get to it before release. And this is about Kemi, and she has a hard burden to bear. She has magic in a world where the church doesn't really want you to have magic, so they're after her. But then there's also this magical society that is kind of after her as well, because she doesn't have enough magic in their opinion. So she's kind of surviving by being a thief, and she gets the opportunity to go on a once-in-a-lifetime heist in order to make her life better, and of course she takes it. Okay, now let's go to the third roll. Here we go. This is gonna be interesting. 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's bone. I love that prompt. Next up, we have the bone prompt, and as Becca said,
any part of the bone aging process will work for this prompt.
So that means that I can actually go with Inferno's Air by Tiffany Wang. This isn't really like a white cover, but it's an off-white, I would say. So I think it works perfectly. And this is a book that I'm hoping to get to in the very first week of the month, because I'm hoping to do a reading vlog about the first 4 books that the new publisher Bindery is publishing in October. All of them are coming out on October 15th, and I want to read the first 4 books that they're publishing in the first week and hopefully get it out before the release date to you. So this is a very interesting concept that this publisher has. It defines itself on NetGalley as a book publisher powered by community. They partner with book tastemakers to build community, discover deserving stories, and publish to readers everywhere. So they're actually going about the publishing industry the other way around. They're bringing in the community first, and then they're going to publish the books that they think the community really wants to read. And I think that's a very interesting concept, and I wonder if that's something that we will see more and more of in the future. So I want to go in and see if I like the books, if it makes sense why they were chosen, how different they are, because the publishers actually working with 4 different tastemakers like Booktubers and Bookstagrammers in order to find these titles, so they should be very different. So Inferno's Heir is about a desperate princess. Her parents were killed and her brother is about to take the throne, and he wants her dead, and the only way that she hopes to gain his favor is by infiltrating a rebellion that's rising up against him and bringing him their heads. But then she recognizes that maybe she has more in common with the rebels, and so she begins to rebel against her own family. I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait. Okay, for the next roll, it's gonna be a 1 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ghost tours. That one means that I need to read a book that has some kind of historical element. It doesn't have to be like a historical fiction, but some kind of historical element needs to be in there. Next up, we landed on Ghost Tour, and in the beginning I was kind of like very apprehensive about this because it means that I need to read a book that has some kind of historical aspect to it. But then I remembered another book that is published by Bindery this month, and that is Strange Beasts by Susan J. Morris. And this takes place in the early 20th century, and we are in Paris. There are murders happening, and we follow the daughter of Dracula's killer, and she kind of has to solve these murders. So it's kind of like a murder mystery, but also with like a classical gothic horror story interwoven. So sounds great, sounds very different from the first one. I'm here for it. And for our last roll, let's go 5 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spooky! That's perfect for this season. Thankfully, no doubles for me this time around. And the last roll landed me on the prompt Spooky, which is perfect for not only this readathon, but the month and my reading as a whole. And for that, it shows another arc that's coming out at the end of the month, I think on the 22nd, I want to say. And it's called The Hollow and the Haunted by Camilla Rains. And I think this works perfectly for this prompt because, I mean, look at the cover, but also this is about a teenage psychic who foresees his enemies' imminent death, and so he and his nemesis have to work together in order to prevent that death. And I think it's going to be a queer love story. I'm here for it. Kind of sounds a bit like Cemetery Boys. If that is a comparison that works, oh my god, yes please. I want more of these stories, and I think it's going to be very, very cool to read in the next month. So those were all the prompts that I'm gonna do for now for Bookoplathon or for Spookoplathon. I think 5 is realistic from the standard that I'm reading right now because, like I said, still kind of on the edge of a reading slump. But I also put down a lot of the books that I want to read during the first week of the month because I'm hoping that I actually can stick to that plan, because then I wouldn't have to read too much more in order to go ahead and roll as I go, which is always so much fun because it just motivates you to read faster and finish a book in order to roll again and find out what more you can read during the month. So I just love Becca and her whole readathon, so thank you, Becca, for just coming up with this amazing idea. I know this is probably going to be the last time that you're doing this, no sweat, so let's go out with a bang. Let's go with an amazing Spookoplathon. And now let's go ahead and play my own TBR game. This is just for me, but if you want to go ahead and read some books for the same prompts, go right ahead. I'm gonna link my video from last month up above and down below so you can go check out all of the spaces and all of the prompts. But for now, I'm just gonna say we are gonna murder our TBR, and in order to do that, we're gonna choose a culprit, find a murder weapon, and then reach our murder scene and then slay that TBR. Let's go for the first roll. Hi everybody, welcome back to Just beaT the TBR, my version of Cluedo. And we have our who, our how, and our where. And over here we have our usual suspects, our Mr. Body cards, and our secret passages. So we're all set up and we can just go ahead. The way that I'm doing it this time around, I'm going to shake it up a bit, and we're only going to figure out who we are and what kind of weapon we're going to use in order to slay that TBR. And once we've reached that weapon, which could be a candle or like a bookmark or a coffee, once we reach that, then I will find out where I need to go in order to commit said murder. So let's go ahead and figure out who we're gonna play today. Ooh, perfect, the magician. And let's find out what kind of weapon I'm gonna use. The coffee, which means a hardcover. So this is going to be hard to show you guys. So we're going to start over here and we have to go all the way over here to get my weapon, and then who knows where I need to go. So this is going to take a long time. Should I roll my die once or twice? I don't know. Decisions. Just go ahead, just take the risk. I'm only gonna roll the dice once. Let's see how many how many prompts I'm actually gonna get in the end. Okay, here we go. There you go, and we need to get over there. 1. Oh my god. Already regretting that decision. Okay, so that is usual suspects. And then we're gonna find out what we're gonna go for. 1 again. That is to read a book that is saved on Goodreads as current read. Okay, that is a good start because I've already started a book. I'm only going to continue and finish it. Perfect. And for the first prompt, I have to read a book that is on my current read list on Goodreads. And my current read sits about like 60 books or something. So I always put a book there once I start, and I softy enough a lot, so I kind of put it down, never pick it back up, that kind of thing. And I thought about what I want to continue, because I could just read something that I start now at the end of the month and carry over to the next month. But then I thought, a long time ago I started a book, this book, What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and I never finished it. I'm on page 246, so I have this much left, which is about 150 maybe. And I never finished it because I was kind of underwhelmed by it at the time. I had so high expectations and I just never finished it. And I think this is going to be perfect to read right now because in November I'm actually going to go to Egypt. So yay. This is supposed to be like a buddy read that we're doing during the trip, but since I've already started it, I'm not gonna take this whole book with me only to get underwhelmed again in company. So the sequel though is coming out in November as well, so maybe I will just pick up the sequel once we're over there and everybody is reading this one. I'm gonna read the sequel. I digress. I have to finish this because it would actually make for the perfect read before heading off over there, and I can't wait to actually get back into the whole Egyptian aspect of this. Why I was underwhelmed is because it just took a while to get there, and a long time this was just the protagonist trying to hitch a ride and get on the expedition while everybody was telling her to just stay put, and that was kind of like boring to me. So I'm hoping that the second half of the book is gonna wow me. This is about a young girl whose parents went missing in Cairo. She doesn't believe that they're dead, which is what everybody's telling her, so she goes there on her own, and this is kind of like an 18th century 19th century society, so women weren't really allowed to travel alone, but she does, and she just goes where she wants and does what she wants, and now hopefully she can go to the site where her parents went missing, and hopefully she can find out what happened to them. So this is the one that I have on my current read that I want to finish in October. Let's get a bigger roll, please. Yes. Just gonna take you a bit closer. So a 6 would take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. That would be a trope or a theme. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be another usual suspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be the blanket. I don't really need that. Okay, let's go over here. So that's a secret passage. Ooh, it's the setting. Let's figure out which one I'm gonna go for. 2. So that is space. A book set in space. Okay, the next prompt that I got was to have a book that is set in space. And I don't mean like actual space, like on a spaceship or a space station. I just mean not on this earth. Sci-fi, anything on another planet, all that is a go. So I chose Ocean's Echo by Verena Maxwell. And this is the companion novel to Winter's Orbit, which is a book that I loved. I flew through that. I loved the romance in that. I loved the world building. I loved that it is sci-fi, but it's not too scientific, if that makes sense. It has a kind of fantastical feel to it. So I don't know why this has been on my shelves for forever. I need to get to it. And this is set in the same universe, world, planet as Winter's Orbit, and we follow a socialite. He's kind of like all over the place. He just wants to do whatever he wants to do, but the military isn't really there for it. I think he's still enlisted, also because he has telepathic powers and he's kind of using them for illegal activities, which is like a no-no, of course. So they put him together with a soldier who is supposed to keep an eye on him with his ability to control minds, which sounds kind of horrible if you think about it. Like, he can just control that guy's mind. I hope it's not going to be too cringe and that the way that this budding relationship is going to happen isn't with like mind control and that there aren't like lines crossed. But Winter's Orbit was amazing, so I have high hopes for this one, and this is just beautiful to boot. So this is my choice for that prompt. Now, should I go over here or should I go through here? Let me just check real quick. Okay, so I just counted. It's the same if I go like this or like this. But if I can get here, I can skip through the publisher, which means I would only need to read an arc extra, but I wouldn't risk having to read like all of these prompts if I only roll once. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go through here and hopefully that will make sense. Big roll, big roll. Oh my god, really? Ooh, roll again, roll again. Yes, perfect. Big roll. Come on, you got the 6 in you. Oh, sorry. Nope, another one. Okay, so I can only go one way. Another theme. Another secret passage. And that is a book that... What's with the ones? There are other numbers. A book that you know nothing about. Okay, I can do that. The next prompt gave us a book to read that I don't know anything about. And like I said before, one dark window. Before I was filming this, I didn't really know what this was about, so works perfectly for this. I swear, I think I already forgot what this was about again. But no, girl with a demon in her mind, I got it, I remember. So this is for that prompt, and hopefully once I read this, I can actually remember the plot of this. Come on, come on. Give me something. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could go for a genre or for a setting. I think I'm gonna go for a setting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna take the one that's on the top. I'm gonna take it away because that is where we need to go. We don't know that yet. And the next one is nature, free choice. That's perfect. The next space that I landed on was a setting, and I got nature, which just means that I can choose from all the other rooms of my board game and their prompts, and I can choose whatever one makes the most sense for me and my reading right now. And so I chose the publisher, which means to read an arc. And for that, I'm just gonna put Until We Shatter again, because it's an arc. I need to read it. I really want to get to it. And like I said, I'm gonna try to double up with as many books as I can for this, because as you've seen, the board was really mean to me, making me run all the way across just for a cup of coffee, and then who knows where I need to go next. So I'm gonna keep it to the other TBR as close as possible, just so that I don't have a massive TBR. So Until We Shatter for this one. Okay, for our next roll, okay, we have our door right here, so we can leave our home and then hopefully get to the publishers really quickly. So let's just, any high number would do. A 5. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll again. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to the publisher to go through. And I could even get right up close to my murder weapon. So I can't collect it yet, but I might actually get close. 5, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is another setting, and that is at a friend's. So that actually means to read a book that is a book club or a buddy read. And then I actually managed to shorten my way to the coffee, and that is to go through the publishers. But of course I have to pick up a book while I'm at the publisher, so that's another arc for me. And for this one I put down Inferno's Heir. Again, something that's already on my TBR. It works perfectly, and I'm hoping to get to these anyway, so perfect. Next we landed on another setting, and for this we're going to a friend's house to have a buddy read or like a book club read. And I don't really have a book club or a buddy read planned for this month because the Patreon book club that we're doing for Gavin I've already read and loved. So I thought about what else I could read for this prompt, and I remembered that I needed to finish another book of mine, which is Winterkeep by Kristen Kishore. This was a buddy read with a friend of mine, and she by now has finished it. I gave her the go-ahead. I was like, I'm in a reading slump. I'm not picking up anything. I mean, this was like 2 months ago, and I don't know when I'm gonna continue with this one. Now I can say hopefully in October. This is one of the newer books in this series, and the series started with Graceling. This is about a continent with different countries that all have different kinds of magical abilities in their people. And in this one we follow an expedition of some sorts with a queen and her entourage to a new country that they only found a couple of years ago, and they are trying to figure out if the interests of both countries align or if there's going to be a problem because other people have gone missing, and now there's like a mystery of what happened to them and what is happening at that country right now. I enjoyed it. I wasn't the hugest fan of some of the story, but I am interested to see like where it all leads to, because there's another book in the series that I still have on my TBR, and hopefully this buddy read can finally be finished so that I can just talk to my friend about it and see what she thought about it. Hopefully now we can get our murder weapon. Now remember, I don't know where to go after that. It could be any of the rooms, but I'm just gonna try to get to the roll again so that I can then move in any direction that I want. Okay. You don't see it. It's a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll again. And a 3. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just see where I want to go. So I could go 1, 2, 3. That's another usual suspect. 1, 2, 3. Another setting. 1, 2, 3. Genre. 1, 2, 3. I could go there because it's like a Mr. Body prompt. I don't have that yet, but it would just be another prompt and I wouldn't get anywhere. So I'm gonna try to go in that direction because I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna go and get another murder weapon. So the murder weapon of my choice is the bookmark to read a paperback. This next one was kind of difficult because the bookmark weapon basically means that I need the format of a paperback in order to finish the prompt, and I looked at my TBR and apparently I wanted to read a lot of hardbacks this month and also a lot of ARCs, which are just digital. So that didn't work, and so I put something on my TBR, and at the point of filming this I am still planning on going on a little trip to the coast, and I just want to read cozy things during that time, so I might get to this one there, but I might not because I have so many other things to read as well. But if I don't get to it this coming weekend, then I'm gonna hopefully get to it very soon in October, and that is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This is the first book in the Tomes and Tea series. The second one is, I think, coming out in October as well, so I could binge through the series if I love this. And this kind of gives like Legends and Lattes vibes, like all of those good things, except this time it's about tea. Not sure if you can like hook me with tea as much as with coffee, but I'm gonna give it a try. This is about a couple. One of them is a queen's private guard and the other one is a powerful mage, but they both really only want to get out and open their own like bookshop that has also like a tea service in it. So one day they just do that. They quit their jobs, they open their own shop, but they maybe haven't left all of the rivalries and all of the drama behind that they had hoped. So probably low stakes, but very cozy atmosphere. Really need that. Not only for this weekend, but also for October as well. Love the sprayed edges. Really happy to have this on my TBR. Now that we've reached our murder weapon, we collected it, and now we can actually find out where the murder is going to take place. Hopefully it's close by. Hopefully it's not like in the study or somewhere very far away. So hopefully we're gonna stay in this area and we don't have to like go over there anytime soon. Let's find out together. We have to go. Oh no! Oh no! We have to go to the bedroom. Okay, the bedroom is over here and the only door is you can't even see because it's so far away. That's where I need to go. Oh my god, that is so far. Oh my god. But we also have our third prompt for our final book, which is a reread. so that might be fun. Okay, so far the journey wasn't too bad, but I do have to remember that I have to read an extra arc because I went through the publishers. That's the rule that I made. So do I want to go right back through the publishers in order to have a shorter walk, or should I just go over here and just do something different today? Okay, I'm gonna try to get to the roll again and then try to make a quick escape. Let's see if it works. 5. Yes, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like I manifested it. I swear I didn't cheat. But let's roll again. It's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a genre. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a theme. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a free choice. Yes, let's go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for free choice, I can choose whatever card I want. And I'm going to choose a Mr. Body because we haven't had that yet. And the Mr. Body card says that the cover needs to have a person on it. And let's find out what kind of person. A 5. So there needs to be one person on the cover. Next up, we finally have a Mr. Body card, and we didn't get around to using these cards during the last game that I played. I'm happy to finally pick one of them up. All of these cards have prompts that have to do like with the cover, with the exterior of the book, like the body of the book. So this one is about the cover design, and the book that I need to read has to have a person, like one person on the cover. And so I decided to go with a book that I don't really own yet, not even as an ARC, but I would have loved to have an ARC of that one. But one of my most exciting and most anticipated releases of the year, and that is Kylie Baker's The Blood Orchid. This is the sequel to The Scarlet Alchemist, which I read I think in June and loved it. One of my favorite books of the year, maybe one of my new favorite fantasies ever. So I'm so happy to get the second book in October. I think it's going to be released on the 22nd, so I'm hoping that I get it right away so that I can read it before going to Egypt, because I don't know if I can wait like a whole month and not read this right away. So really want to get to this one. And The Scarlet Alchemist is about a young girl who is trying to become the royal alchemist, which is a very high position at court, but she has to go through certain trials and compete against other alchemists in order to get there. It sounds like a story that you might have read before in other stories, but believe me, the plot twist, the characters, all of it made me like, I loved it. Especially the plot twists. They just kept coming. My jaw was on the floor. I was amazed. I was shocked. I cried a lot, and I can't wait to get back with these characters and find out. I'm not really sure if this is like the end of the story. I think it is. I think it's the finale as well. I think it's a duology, so I need to know. I need to know how it all ends. Again, sorry if you can hear my cat. She's drinking. Okay, let's try to get as far as we can inside our home here. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be another Mr. Body, or a genre. I'm gonna go for another Mr. Body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second Mr. Body for this game tonight. And it has to do with the title. So let's figure out which one we're going for. 1. And that prompt is to use a random word or letter generator. Oh my god, okay. Wish me luck. And then we have the prompt to use a random word or letter generator in order to figure out like what book I want to read. That means that I have to use that word in order to maybe make a connection to a book. Maybe it's in the title, maybe it's just something that vibes with it. With the letter generator, I would need to have that letter in the beginning of the title or the author name or something. I went with the word generator because why not make it difficult for me? And so I went with the word generator, and it gave me funeral, which is actually perfect again for this kind of reading experience that I'm hoping to have in October. And it works perfectly because, as you've seen before, I have the Hollow and the Haunted on my TBR, and that works perfectly because there's a coffin on the cover. There is a lot of grave digging, I'm guessing from the synopsis, and there is an imminent death that they want to prevent, so I think it works perfectly for funeral. Here we go. 6. Yay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Roll again. Maybe I have too many roll agains on here, but I'm loving them at the moment. Okay. Potentially our last roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I get another 6, perfect. Yes. Oh my god. And you can't even see. Everyone's gonna assume I cheated, but I didn't. I swear. I swear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're in the bedroom. Perfect. So for our final book, we have to read a fantasy that is a hardcover, and that is a reread. Yay. I swear I did not cheat. I really did get the roll again and getting the 6 and landing on my final destination. So I am so glad that I don't have any more books to put on here except for the final one. And that makes 10 in total for my TBR game. And I'm hoping that it's fine that I can actually read that many books. So for the final book, I need to find a book that is a fantasy, that is a hardcover, but it's also a reread. And that is perfect because I still need to read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Again, I've had this on my TBR now for a couple of months, I think, to reread this and continue on with the series. I haven't gotten around to it. Again, reading slump. But yeah, hopefully this will get me to it, and it's a reread, it's a hardcover, and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully this time around I'm actually gonna get back to it. In this, we follow a girl who has no power in a world where having no power means that you're illegal and that you're a danger and that everybody wants to kill you. She has been surviving by pretending to have abilities, and now she has to prove that after she saves a very important person, and he makes her part of this whole game that is happening every year, and now she's in the limelight and is hoping to survive again. So that's my TBR for the coming month of October. Hopefully I can make it. Wish me luck. Let me know down in the comments what you're planning on reading for the spooky season. Is there a new release that you're hoping to get to as soon as it comes out? Let me know which of the prompts you liked best from my TBR and if you're taking part in Spookoplathon. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!